Hey everybody, I'm Debi Adams, and today I'm going to show you how to stamp on a clay pot. I'm going to give you a little tip or trick to show you how easy it can be done. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and use a terracotta pot. You can pick any size you want, and then I'm just going to paint it with some acrylic paint. Doesn't have to be any particular brand. I do like the multi-surface paint. It seems to have better coverage, but it's up to you. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint this pot up. If you like, you can make it kind of shabby chic, where you're getting just a little bit of paint, or you can cover it as I'm doing here with a lot of paint. It's totally up to you how you create your coverage. And once I get this all done, we're going to let this set for a second and let it dry. I like to really get some of the streak marks off there so it's got a smooth finish. You can make 2 coats of this if you like, or just leave it this way. And because I'm putting it outdoors and I kind of want a little rougher look, I'm going to leave it like this. So now we're going to let it dry. Okay, now that the clay pot is dry, I'm going to remove these items and we're going to go ahead and stamp our image. And what I found that works really well for stamping on a clay pot is to stamp first on a piece of this paper called Lineco, L-I-N-E-C-O. It's for bookbinding, and it's a little bit stronger than tissue paper, and I'll show you why it's so nice to use on like rounded objects. So anyway, we're going to use this nasturtium stamp. I love that image. It's one of my favorite, one of actually my first Hero Arts stamps. So we're going to ink that up. I'm not sure how wet my pad is, and I've been really good and stayed home, so I haven't been able to replace a lot of things. So this might have to be done twice. So I'm going to use my Misty to stamp my image so that I can come back and stamp it again if I didn't get enough. And I think I need it one more time. And press that down firmly, get that image on there really well, and then we'll be ready to die cut it. So there we have it. So move this out of the way. And then I'm just going to lay the die on top. Obviously, many of you have done this before. Get this kind of centered. Put down a little washi tape now. Because this is tissue paper and it's actually stronger than tissue paper, it doesn't tear that easily, but I think it's safest to just try to put your washi tape on the edge there to secure it in place and not try to put it across the design itself. Just makes it a little more difficult to come up. I haven't ripped it, but it's just been harder to pull up. And then I'm just going to run this real quickly right through my machine. And see, this just pulls right up. Came right out. So now I'm ready to work with my image onto my clay pot. Okay, so I think our clay pot is finally dry. And so now we're going to put our image onto the clay pot. And I'm going to purposely show you how this can go up and over the top of that without having a lot of wrinkles. So what I'm going to do is on my clay pot, I'm going to apply some matte medium. It doesn't really matter which brand you use. I just happen to have this one at home, so I'm going to use it. It looks a little gluey, I guess, but I like the matte because it doesn't show a gloss after you're done, because a lot of times you go over what you need to glue and I don't want to see that left over. So we're just going to lay this on here, and I'm going to put plenty of it on there. I want to make sure I get a good adhesion and it covers everything. So you can also put this image on with like a glue stick, but this just is kind of slippery and it allows you to move it around a little bit. So get a good amount on that. And so I just like using it more. And then when you're done, you can come back over and you'll see me, I'll put another coat on top. So now I'm just going to lay this right down on my clay pot. And I don't know why this tissue paper, the way it's made, just doesn't have a lot of wrinkles in it. I don't know. I've tried it several different times and it's just worked really well. And if you did miss some spots, which I may have, I come back over this again and I just lightly seal the edges. If you do have a few little wrinkles, I'll show you something that I use. You can use an old worn out credit card if you have one of those, or I have one of these little paint things, and they just see how it just pulls those creases right out, and just move it on down, and then just wipe off the excess. I'll probably come in with a paper towel for that. And see, I can't even see where the tissue paper is. Pretty hard to see that. And your clay pot is all done. Now I say to go back in and put a sealer on it, especially if you're going to use it outside. It's going to take some water and take a little bit of weather beating, so you're going to want to put that on there. But that's all there is to making one of those designed pots. So thanks for joining me.